Got my shipment here. It's a big one. That's it. That's our flywheel key. This is the proper Briggs number, so that's good. And I'm hoping that we can get this thing to fire today. I don't have time right now to go through the entire fuel system, but I'll just give it a little taste of Dr. Pepper and see what we get. The reason behind using the proper key is that using a stainless key, for example, I guess what can happen is it's just too hard, and so it won't shear off, and it can also put too much strain in here and actually break the flywheel. We don't want that, so there we go. That's all we needed to make this work. Cost me $10 for that little key, mind you. I gotta go get a hammer and a drift. Now, what did I do with those bolts? Well, I honestly don't know what I did with the bolts for this cover. I must have put them somewhere super safe where I wouldn't forget where they were. This is the handle to adjust the chute angle. Look at this mechanism. It's got a wire rope that just wraps around the chute and around this roller. Pretty clever. Anyway, let's see what happens. We'll give this a little choke. A little fuel. Come straight out of it. That's not great. Let's see. That in where it's supposed to be neutral. And recoil is jammed. Come on. There we go. I guess the bolts are important. Wasn't without promise. That's a runner. I'm really disappointed with myself. I do not know what happened to the bolts for this recoil. Maybe they're in a coat pocket or jeans pocket or something. I don't know. But I mean, they're nothing special size-wise, but they are original, so it'd be nice to have them. I took one off another engine just to hold this on for now, because next I'd like to put some gas in here and see if it'll run off of the tank. I'll probably give it a little shot of Dr. Pepper just to get it started, because the diaphragm and everything's going to be super dry. There's a pretty good chance we'll be changing that diaphragm. The tank itself is fairly, it's not too bad. The advantage with these Briggs is that they don't pick up from the bottom, so you know the pickups kind of hang down into the tank, so they shouldn't be too bad. This is the style, the Pulsajet, that picks up fuel. You've seen me work on them lots, on Scott's Toro and on, what was the other one? What was the other one, Lawson? Is there yeah, there's a Pulsajet on Goldie Hawn, isn't there? Yes, there is. where it picks up from the tank and the pump deposits it into a little cup inside the tank, which then the carb picks up from there. So that's kind of like your bowl slash float built right into the tank. Let's see if we can make this run on its own. Oh, we got fuel coming out everywhere instantly. I think that should have been long enough to pull fuel up with the diaphragm, so I guess we'll pull this carb off and see what we're up against. It does seem that the carb was actually picking up fuel and putting it into the bowl with the diaphragm pump. There was fuel up there, so just wasn't getting through. I noticed, having pulled the carb off, that the throttle plate was stuck, so that's not helping. And yeah, just gonna pull it apart, take a look inside, make sure everything's clean, and then we'll try again. So here's our infamous Pulsajet. So again, this, you can see where our fuel level was. So we had fuel in the tank enough, and it was pulling it up through the diaphragm pump here. It dumps it out this little passage right here, and then that dumps into the bowl, and this picks it up and presumably shoots it into the engine. Choke, throttle, mixture. I'm thinking maybe we're plugged up in here. Well, that came out awfully easy. Inside there is actually kind of your main idle jet, I guess. So let's see about cleaning that out. Well, I can see through there, but inside here there are two tiny ports, and those could very well be plugged. It does look like that tiny port is plugged. The smaller one here, it is very, very small. Like, none of these are small enough. Some 22 gauge brass wire. There. Okay, so that's cleaned out. I think we'll just give it another go. Talk about serendipity. Friend of the channel, Tom, who actually we purchased Little Goldie Hawn from, contacted me today, and he had a couple items that I was pretty interested in that he was just moving on. One I'm not going to talk about just yet because it's a bit of a surprise for hopefully spring. The other one was a Briggs flathead, 4 horsepower, more or less for parts. It had the bolts that I lost for the recoil cover, so now I can secure that. You know, it'd be nice for odds and ends for parts and stuff, so that was awesome. Let's see if that's improved the situation any. kind of fun. It's not without its issues. It doesn't want to run for very long. It may still need a diaphragm. Maybe it's not pumping enough. In fact, that would explain a lot, that it's just not able to pump enough to keep up to the demand. It did, however, blow a bunch of leaves into my whiskey.
I'm going back to the place I ran from. Palm trees, broken roads, desert dust bowl sun, where the bill man will call you almost every